Good day, everyone, and welcome to a very, very special and fun interview. We have Amherstburg's very own Adam Butcher in the studio with us. Hang on, I got a soundtrack thing over here somewhere. I know I do. Let's try that again. Take two. We got Adam Butcher in the studio. Always got to use those every now and again.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you can. Adam, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come here and to our home away from home and talk a little bit about your journey, what you got planned, what you got going on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you've been all over the place. I've seen you performing at the Cosmo Theater in Caesars.
Yep.
I've seen you doing stuff with, you went to GL Heritage Brewery. You've done stuff with them.
Yep.
You've been doing private events all over the place.
Yep.
You released a new song called Gassed Up. It's been on fire, no pun intended, or maybe it is. Absolutely loving it. We've been playing it here at the station. Nothing but great things said about it. And you've been on SiriusXM radio.
Yep.
As well as other local stations in and around Windsor, Essex County, all pumping your music. Tell us a little bit about that. How's it feel?
Yeah, so it feels really cool. It's still so surreal in different ways. It's every once in a while, I'd say like every other day or so, I get a message from somebody, or I run into somebody on the street and they say, "Hey, I've been listening to your song on the radio," and even to this day, I still have no idea how to kind of process that feeling. I don't know if I should be like, "Oh yeah, that's great," you know what I mean? I just say, "Hey, thanks for listening," and I appreciate that you take the time out of your day to listen to my music. It means the world to me, kind of thing. Yeah, it was playing every day on SiriusXM radio on top of the country, which is sweet because it's an it's an international station, right? So everybody that that has SiriusXM has access to the to all of those XM radio stations. So it was playing on top of the country, which is the Canadian country radio station for SiriusXM, and I was fortunate enough to be featured on their station, playing every day for about I think 3 or 4 months. And moving on to terrestrial radio, I was playing for Blackburn Radio. They featured me as their first ever Emerging Artist of the Month, which I thought that was awesome. And they've never done anything like that before. So the fact that I have that local support from my hometown and to the towns that are close to wherever we're at right now, it just meant the world to me, kind of thing. So it's really cool.
Absolutely,
very lucky.
Speaking of that local support, you've had it. Even before you started releasing music, you started on stage, which sometimes I've never met anyone that went that way. It's always been the other way around. Usually people are more comfortable in a box by themselves making the music, and even the idea of going out in front of public can be intimidating. So what was it like starting vice versa?
I would say it was... I don't want to say it was easy, because nothing's really ever easy in the music industry, as you probably know. But I've always been an extrovert, right? So when it came to meeting people or being in front of people and talking to people, I love it. I love getting to know people for who they are and learning a little bit more about them, and vice versa, allowing people to learn about who I am and what I like to offer and what I like to give to whether it's my listeners or my friends or anything, you know what I mean? I love building a solid relationship with the people that I meet, and I think it goes a long way, moving forward. So when I started playing music, I still remember when I got offered my first show to play, and I would have been 19, so 9 years ago. I'm 28 now. I got a message from it was a bar in town, and it was called The Cellar at the time. I don't know if you remember it back in the day, it's where the Salty Dog is now in Amherstburg. And they said, "Hey, we want to book you for a 3-hour show." And I was like, I didn't even know what to think about it. I got the message, and the first thing I did is I went to my dad, because my dad was always he always played music in the area, and he was a big supporter, as well as my mom, of my music career, kind of thing. And he said, "Hey man," he's like, "just take the gig and figure it out." He's like, "Say yes and then figure it out as you go." So at the time, I maybe had 5 songs that I had learned in a set list or something like that. Nothing crazy, but 5 songs that I was comfortable with, and I needed probably 30 or 40. So I just, I went on the grind and learned about 40 songs that I knew. I knew a ton of songs, I guess you could say, from always singing when I was a kid. But once I had that set list, I was ready to go, and I just kept adding to it, throughout the years. So
I'm intrigued. So you show up at the Cellar.
Yep.
It's your very first show. How was the experience?
It was nerve-wracking, right? Because I didn't know what to expect. I think when I started loading in, I had these 2 big trainer speakers. They were massive. It was like they were probably 75 pounds to 100 pounds for the speaker, right?
Oh, wow.
And I had one on each side of me in a small tucked corner, so definitely not necessary to have. But I'm like, hey, this is what my dad used for his band, so I'm going to load this in. And then I had another separate amp for my electric guitar if I wanted to play electric guitar. And a ton of family came out, a lot of friends, and I met some new people as well. And I guess I put on a great show. I listened back to some of those videos and I go, oh man, that's what I sounded like when I was 19. It's nice to see that, hard work slowly starts to pay off and you start to see a progression in what you do, right? And I think that goes for anything. If, when you start something and you're fresh with something, and you keep working towards, a bigger goal, or you keep just trying to get better. That's always been a thing for me. Is you're gonna see, the results, and I think that's a solid testimony for anybody that's looking to do whatever they want to do in life. You know what I mean?
I think it's a huge part of the motivation behind it too.
Yep.
You see the progress. Even you're working out and you see yourself noticeably getting stronger.
Yeah,
it's what makes you want to keep doing it.
100%.
Same. Yeah. Good observation with that.
Yeah.
So how was it coming up with your first original?
So funny enough, Gassed Up isn't technically my first original song. I had released 2 EPs prior to Gassed Up, and it was more of like, hey, I think it's time to, kind of branch out and start writing my own music and getting a feel for what it's like writing my own stuff and kind of discovering who I am as an artist. And the first 2 EPs that I released, they were awesome, and they did exactly what I needed them to do for me in a sense. It was, being able to, show people that I have something more to offer than just, coming out to a venue and playing cover songs, right? Which is great. I love that. It's a great vibe. But, there's always something that I can work towards to help grow, who I am as an artist and who I am as a person, right? So original music was a no-brainer at the time. Although I think the stuff that I released, it was who I was, but it wasn't necessarily who I wanted to be or what I wanted to be as an artist. And that's when we decided more recently than not to rebrand and go full-blown, country. So I started working with a producer, a great friend of mine. He also plays with Buck 20. I'm sure you've heard of the band Buck 20.
Yes, sir.
A solid local band. I think Mike Ure is from Harrow. So he's from here, which is great. But I started working with Aiden, and he's like, I can give you what you're looking for, and I can help you, come up with that sound that you're really looking for, and see where we take things with it, kind of thing. And we came out with Gassed Up, and here we are now.
Wow.
With an actual country song that I really, really like, and I'm actually very, very proud of.
How long did it take to write it?
We wrote that song in, I think it was 1 3-hour session. We wrote that with Aiden again, my producer, and I guess we'll call him my manager as well. He's doing a great job with that. We wrote it with him, and we wrote it with another good friend of ours, Doug Folkens, who's out in Campbell River in Victoria, BC. So we did an online Zoom call, and that was my first time meeting Doug. That was actually the first song that we ever really wrote together.
Wow.
And, we came up with that in 3 hours in a 3-hour session. And as soon as the song was finished and we finished writing it, I'm like, there's something pretty special about this song.
Absolutely.
Which is odd, yeah.
The chemistry, when the planets all align, especially meeting someone for the first time ever, doesn't happen quite often. And it's an amazing track.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
Something happened that just, you got to keep doing it.
That means a lot. Thank you.
I feel like we're talking so much about this song, we have to play it now.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna play Adam Butcher's newest track, Gassed Up. Take a listen, and then we'll be right back here on CKRT Country Road Radio. That was Adam Butcher's song, Gassed Up. Straight out of Amherstburg. Man, it's so cool being able, because I grew up in Amherstburg. Yep. It's so cool hearing like hits like that just, I can be able to say like, it's from the same town that I came out of, you know? It's really, really cool.
That's sweet.
We were talking a little bit how you chose to rebrand your sound and you dove right into country.
Yes.
What made you decide this was the route to go with?
I think I've always had an appreciation for country music, and it's funny. When I was younger, I was singing all the time, right? It's like I feel like whenever we'd have like a karaoke night with the family or getting together with anybody where I had an opportunity to sing, it's like, oh, I'm gonna sing Journey, I'm gonna sing like Foreigner, I'm gonna sing these songs with very like these very like high voices, I guess you could say, these hitting these notes that now I feel like I could just never hit those notes, right? So as soon as, I guess you could say my voice took a change when I was like maybe 13, 14, 15, around that age, I was like, I don't even know if singing's fun anymore, man. Like I can't sing the songs that I used to sing. I have to change all the keys and it feels weird, right? That's when I really started to dive into country music and appreciating that style of music, because I'm like, not only can I sing it, but I can really connect to the songwriting and how these people are telling stories in their songs, and then of course I'm not taking away from anybody that's in any other genre. Every genre tells a story, but I love the feeling that I get when I listen to country music, and I said this is something that I think I would want to pursue as an artist, and I think it fits best with who I am, where I come from, and I just love it. So I'm glad that we went with that route.
I am too, honestly. It works very, very well. There's quite a few of your other songs that you can tell almost like you're finding the sound, and it's like you can almost hear it there.
Yep.
And then now it's like a full polished version of it, and it's amazing.
Thank you.
You are working on a new song.
That is correct. Yep.
Or I guess I'll let you say whatever you want to say about it. I don't want to speak for your unreleased stuff.
You're good. So I have a new single that's going to be coming out, and that was always a thing that we decided ever since the release of Gassed Up is let's be more consistent. I want to be able to keep offering more and more for my fans, my friends. I call them my friends because everybody that appreciates me and my music, they're my friend. You know what I mean? So it's just I want to be more consistent with what I do, and we have a new song coming out. It's called Love Me Still. It's got a little bit of a different vibe than Gassed Up. It's I'd say it's more of a ballad, but it's not like a super slow ballad. And it really talks about the appreciating the idea of being in stillness with somebody that you love, whether it's a partner, I would say more so a partner, or anybody that you've been with for a long time, right? And it's funny, when we originally wrote this song, you'll hear it when it comes out, probably within, we don't have a release date yet, but yeah, when we originally started writing the song, we're like, wow, I'd love to give like a Riley Green kind of vibe and write something sexy and getting down and dirty with whatever we're talking about or whatever we're writing about. And I'm like, it's just I feel like I'm more the type to kind of just appreciate holding my partner and just sitting there and appreciating them for what we are together, kind of thing. So it's more all about the togetherness and appreciating that stillness of being with someone. That's where we got the song title, Love Me Still.
Interesting. I appreciate that you made the choice of sticking to what felt more personal to you,
Yeah.
And no, that goes a long way, because I feel like what a lot of artists don't realize is that you can feel honesty.
Yeah.
And you can feel it when someone's being genuine in their lyrics, and you do it a lot. And you can let it be, especially in country music, like you were saying. It just, emotion is everything, and you're able to give it in a way that is very authentic, and people can relate to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just a prime example of one of those times where you made the executive decision in your head to, I guess, choose to make a song that is more feeling like you and not like you're trying to be someone you're not.
Right. Yeah.
So-
That's the goal for sure.
So you're working on this track. How many songs do you usually, because you've released EPs in the past and other things, do you work on one song at a time, or do you like dabble in other ones while you're doing it, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I'd say I'm always actively writing, so I'm always booking songwriting sessions. I'm starting to write with multiple people at a time now, which is really cool because I thought that songwriting was just something that you did by yourself, and you write something for yourself, and if you like it, then you work towards releasing it. But I find that group writing sessions are super important, and you get to you're banging out songs way quicker than you would be on your own. So in terms of production. We're working on, I'd say we typically work on one song at a time, and you make sure that everything's good for that song, and then once that song is done, then you can start branching off into the next song that you've probably written with whoever, you know what I mean. But it's always good that there's that I don't want to say the term bankroll, but there's always that that bank of songs that you have, so that if you're ready to release your next song, you can pull from the best song that you think that you've written, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a song that you've made in the past, which one would you say sticks with you the most?
Like from one of my older EPs?
Yeah.
I would say I would say I released this one as a single a long time ago, and it was called Something Better Than This, and that was my first experience where I'm like, I'm gonna try and write a country song because this is what I want to be. And I think that song, out of all the other songs on both my EPs, was the closest I got to really diving into a country song. And it was just before I got to experience working with a country producer that works in the country music industry, right? So that would be my go-to song that I would say kind of kickstarted that desire to dive into country music.
Interesting. Well, I wrote it down. I had to make sure I don't forget it because we're going to have to add that to the playlist.
Yeah.
Do you have any other performances you're going to be doing locally?
Yeah, we just started, which is something I'd love to talk about. I'm just starting playing with a band now. So a lot of people know me as a solo artist. That's always been playing solo shows for the past probably 8 years, right? So we just started with a band. We're called the Adam Butcher Band, which is great. Not to take away from the fact that I'm extremely lucky to be playing with the 3 other guys that are in my band. I'll give them a shout out. We have Brandon LaFrancois, that's my drummer. My lead guitar player is Ethan Hennessy, and then Nick Suich is my bass player. So they play in a bunch of great bands around the area as well. So the fact that they kind of were welcoming me into starting a band together, I thought that was really cool. We do have an upcoming show this weekend. If you're local, we're playing at Two Creeks. It's the conservation area in Wheatley, Ontario, and they have a big amphitheater, and they put on they call it the Summer Concert Series every Sunday throughout the week. So I'll be playing there this Sunday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. So I'm excited for that. And then our next band show coming up that we have, we'll be playing again at the Cosmos Lounge at Caesars Windsor, September 27th. That's a Saturday.
That's really exciting. Just hearing you list those, plus the other ones that I've seen on your social media,
Yeah.
You've done a lot of really cool shows at a lot of cool venues.
Yep.
What would you say, off the top of your head, not to take away from any of the other ones, but what would you say was one of the most memorable performances you've done?
There's 2 that comes to mind when it comes to performances. Of course, I'm going to go to my first show at Caesars Windsor. That was a place where growing up, 19, 20, all the way through to my later 20s, where I am now. I got the privilege to listen to a ton of bands play on that stage, and I always thought it was a cool venue with great sound, top tier quality sound, good sound system, good equipment. And I just thought to myself, and I kept saying to myself every time I would see them play or anybody play there, I'll be there one day, or I'd like to get there one day. And it was just one of those things where I kept saying, oh, I'll be up there one day. And it was always one day. And then, now that I've, had the experience to play on that stage, I still remember the first show we played there. That was on June 27th, this past June. And it was just awesome. It was I was so hyped up for that. And, had a bunch of good friends and family show up. And then, the exposure to the people that are across the border in Detroit and in Michigan. And as well as everybody that lives in the Windsor area as well. It was such a good vibe. I loved it. And then the other one that sticks out to me would have been probably my first time playing for the Canada Day Festival, of course, in my hometown, Amherstburg. And that was my first glimpse of playing with, a really, really tight band. And there had to have been close to 1,000 people that came out that night. And it was just a great show. It was fun. I loved it.
Man, it's so inspirational to hear stuff like that, and it not only just for someone like me who makes music, but also for anyone who's doing anything, whatever it may be, just knowing like if you want it that badly, you can get it.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to go to a quick break, and then we will be right back with some more Adam before he heads out. So stick around, stay tuned, and don't go anywhere.
You're listening to CKRT.
All right, we found it. Took a little bit of deep diving.
But for sure.
We got it. He was, Adam here was talking a little bit about his song, Something Better Than This, and how it was a very memorable song to him.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So we're gonna give that one a quick listen before we wrap out. His song, Something Better Than This. Adam, thank you again so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come in and share all of the amazing experiences. Give us a little bit about behind the scenes of what it's like, and even some unforetold stuff about some unreleased music. We'll see where that goes. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate you having me on the show, and hopefully I get to come back and chat with you soon.
Oh, we're definitely gonna have to, especially after this track is released. I don't even know what it sounds like yet, but just hearing you talk about it, I already know I'm gonna have lots of questions.
Sweet.
Is there anything that we didn't cover that you wanna talk about, or?
I guess if you're interested in learning more about who I am as an artist and my music, you can check out my website at www.adambutchermusic.com, or you can follow me on my Facebook page, which is Adam Butcher Music, or my Instagram, which is also Adam Butcher Music. I'd love to connect with anybody that's that appreciates my music, and show you what more I have to offer for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Before we head out, can I just get you to do a closing sign off?
Sure.
Just say, say hello, your name, and you're listening to CKRT.
Yeah.
Letters are up there, too, if you need it.
Oh, I got you. I'm going to actually look at those right now. No, I'm kidding.
Perfect.
Hey, guys. It's Adam Butcher here, and you guys are listening to CKRT Radio.